with the dysfunction of the Dallas Mavericks on verge missing the play-in entirely after an unexpected trip to the conference finals. 24-year-old Luka getting plenty of hate. Many will now question the four-time All-Star, whether he's a winning player being extremely ball dominant while the team went from the 4th seed before the Irving trade to all of a sudden not even in the postseason picture. Many thought the two would figure it out, but giving away an unprotected first, their best defender in Dorian Finney-Smith, and a serviceable Dinwiddie, an absolute travesty. A panic situation. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. If Kyrie does leave, it will end up being one-sided in favor of the Nets. It's already a win that Brooklyn don't have to deal with his nonsense no more. Could be one of the several examples of past trades that were considered one-sided in favor of the team with the bigger star player, the more popular name, but ended up being lopsided the other way. Starting with 2000, Grant Hill for Chucky Atkins and Ben Wallace, one of the premier players in the game, coming off a career best nearly 26 points, nearly 7 and 5 average on 49% shooting, in discussion as the top 5 player in the world. The 27-year-old supposed to be the best after Jordan, the original true 6'8" point forward, insane athleticism with great vision. His only hole was outside shooting, which wasn't that important for his time. After leading Detroit to the postseason, heading into free agency, the franchise not looking promising, the team couldn't afford to lose Hill for nobody. Joe Dumars waited till August 3rd for the trade to unfold in exchange for Atkins, an undrafted rookie point guard who almost put up 10 points a game, and super unproven undrafted center by the name of Ben Wallace. His lone season with Orlando, numbers of 4.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, shown tons of promise, but viewed nothing more than a role player at the time. Trading away Grant Hill for 2 second-rounders, trade considered so bad at the time. Just imagine 2014 Houston trading away James Harden for 2 no-name players. Had social media existed, Dumars would have been roasted for weeks. Pistons fans would have sold all their season tickets, but little did anybody know, after Hill's ankle problems, first round series versus Miami in the sweep, the then 5-time All-Star never the same again, while Big Ben, on the other hand, seen as Orlando's expiring contract, Atkins signed for 4 years, $22.5 million, Wallace 6 years, $30. With the pairing of Hill and promising 20-year-old Tracy McGrady, Orlando supposed to contend heavily in the East, especially almost nearly acquiring superstar Tim Duncan, all for 6 years, nearly $70 million. If head coach Doc Rivers would have said yes to Tim bringing his people on the plane ride, a decision that still haunts the franchise to this day. Despite no Duncan, the Magic still supposed to be one of the top seeds. Some even felt Hill and McGrady good enough to come out the East, but Hill just played 4 games first season with the Magic, his tenure absolutely tragic. Season-ending ankle surgery, team won 43 games, while the surprising Wallace averaged over 13 rebounds, became one of the best shot blockers, a fan favorite, relentless energy, considered a superstar on defense, drawing his tenure with the franchise, made 4 All-Star teams, 5 defensive firsts, 2-time rebounds champ, and a blocks leader, won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, dominated a game without scoring, 5 straight 50-plus win seasons, upsetted the heavy favorite Lakers in 04, and nearly repeated the following year, 4 straight conference finals, including coming back down 3-1 to T-Mac's Magic, winning by double digits last 3 games, while Atkins, traded in middle of 04, became a key piece in landing Atlanta's Rasheed Wallace, an okay player the rest of his career, while Hill continued to be derailed by injuries, 14 games in 02, 29 the next season, missed the entire 04 campaign, a combined 47 games in 4 seasons, 43 total games with McGrady, redeemed himself in 05, back to being an All-Star, but was already 32 by then, alongside rookie Dwight Howard. Hill's Magic in 07 swept by Detroit round 1, his very last year with the franchise, missing 281 games his first 4 seasons, a lackluster 16.4 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Given the 2 different scenarios, nobody could have predicted the throwaway missing piece. Ben Wallace would become the lone All-Star, helping the Pistons win a title 4 years later as the team looked like a dumpster, even during Hill's tenure. Orlando was supposed to turn out like the 2000s Pistons, the total opposite results nobody could have imagined. Also summer of 2000, August 23rd, Jermaine O'Neal and 1.6 points, Joe Klein for Dale Davis, the 21-year-old extremely raw out of high school from the 96 draft, spent most of his time on the bench behind Rasheed Wallace, Brian Grant, and Sabonis. Davis, on the other hand, made the All-Star team in 2000, averaged 10 and 10 as a glue guy. The 31-year-old been in Indiana his whole career and plenty of crucial playoff moments. While Portland came off an epic conference finals meltdown to the Lakers, wanted another established piece who can get physical with Shaq, who Double D held to 38 points a game those finals. The Blazers ended up winning just 50 games in 2001. Davis a non-factor, 1.7 fouls in 2 games versus LA those playoffs. While Pacer fans absolutely livid summer of 2000, here's Jermaine on how some fans reacted.
First day I got to Indianapolis, I was at Champs right on the corner downtown. I know what you're talking about. Right across from the Conrad, right. And I remember like going in there and I heard like the lady was like, they were sitting literally right next to me, and it was like, man, that's what they traded Dale Davis for.
they love Dale Davis.
Right,
Davis boy.
Shout out to
Davis boy.
Yeah, Dale did his thing. Yeah. Him and AD did their thing, and I understood why they felt. And they just came off of finals appearances, just a month or so beforehand. Yeah. So I knew it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn this shit up on him. I'm gonna give him a reason.
The biggest hidden gem at the time, J.O. improved his numbers to nearly 13 and 10, while most improved player in 02, ended up making 6 straight All-Star appearances, a double-double machine, took the #1 Nets to the distance. After Indy added Brad Miller, Ron Artest, Al Harrington, and Jamal Tinsley to complement J.O., the Pacers became true contenders in the East again. All of a sudden, O'Neal became Indiana's best player, and Reggie Miller almost turning 40. The All-Star power forward signed for 7 years, 126 in 03, led Indy to the best record, 61 wins. The following year, put up 20 and 10, second team All-NBA in the discussion as top power forward behind Garnett and Duncan, finished 3rd for MVP. Nobody could have foresaw this. In 2000, became one of the best post players and rim protectors after falling to Detroit in 6, on verge to competing for a title before the unfortunate Malice in the Palace, causing prime Artest the whole season. Reggie retired after. Artest traded the following year. J.O. then battled through injuries in 06, declined rapidly, became one of the forgotten great players in the 2000s, while Davis spent 7 more seasons in the league with Portland, Golden State, and Detroit, got stuck with the Jailblazers, went through some dark times in the 2000s. It took Portland 14 years to win a playoff series after 2000. Monte Ellis for Andrew Bogut, March 13, 2012. Also included Kwame Brown and Epe Udoh to the Bucks and Steven Jackson back to the Warriors. At the time, before the era of analytics, Warrior fans irate due to their infatuation with their supposed franchise star being super loyal to their day ones. When it came to who was the face of the franchise, half the people would have still taken the 26-year-old Ellis over the injury-prone 24-year-old Curry. With ankle problems, wasn't an all-star yet. Bogut, on the other hand, deemed disappointing, injury-prone big men, not too good as a #1 pick, played just 32 games in 2013. Originally, Curry was supposed to be the one traded instead of Ellis, but the Bucks medical staff didn't think his ankles would hold up. Monte played a year and a half, sharing the backcourt duties with Milwaukee's Brandon Jennings, before signing with Dallas and out the league by 2017. Curry ended up healthy, changed the NBA forever. Bogut a key piece to the start of the Dubs dynasty, solid rebounder, good rim protector, did all the dirty work, great passing big, sent nasty screens to free up the Splash Brothers. When Golden State didn't have their imposing rim protector, lost to the Clippers 2014 playoffs, Bogut went down early Game 5 2016 versus Cleveland. James and Irving got whatever they wanted inside since. A healthy Bogut, very high chance of helping Golden State repeat, a way better version of Kevon Looney with a lot more skills. The Brooklyn Nets 2013 and the infamous Billy King giving away all his eggs in the basket for the ancient Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, plus Jason Terry, a throw-in with DJ White for Chris Humphries, Jello Wallace, Marshawn Brooks, Chris Joseph, Keith Bogans, 3 firsts, In a first-round swap, Danny Ainge absolutely ridiculed, giving away 2 future Hall of Famers. Pierce was supposed to retire as a Celtic, while Brooklyn had star wings in Darren Williams and Joe Johnson, plus young rising center Brook Lopez, first-year head coach Jason Kidd. Championship or bust, many believed the Nets' so-called super team could overtake Miami, given the 4th best odds to win it all, but turns out teams struggled all season, lackluster 44 wins, barely beat Toronto, their first and only series win together, before losing to the Heat in 5 games. The chemistry never there, the 2 vets didn't see eye to eye with D. Will, but many still destroyed Boston for that trade, especially the heated Bill Simmons.
You can't wait to get a Gerald Wallace jersey.
Gerald Wallace's contract is terrible. It's $30 million for 3 years. That's a big contract to take on for 3 number-1 picks that aren't lottery picks. Did you guys hear that the Celtics traded their 2 best players of the last 20 years for 3 meaningless draft picks and one of the worst contracts in the league? Because it's just starting to set in for me.
Drafted bust James Young in 2014, free agent Pierce took his talents to Washington after 1 season. Garnett traded to Minnesota 2015 deadline, ending the short-lived field bootlegged super team. D. Will also fell off, brought out, while Boston started to make noise all of a sudden, traded for Isaiah Thomas 2015, while Joe Johnson also traded, Brook Lopez left stranded. Nets finished 21 wins 2016, giving Boston the number 3 pick, landing future All-Star Jaylen Brown. The C's then swapped with Philly the following year, getting the best player in the draft. Also could have gotten their 2018 first-round pick in Colin Sexton, but sent over to Cleveland in the Kyrie trade. Brooklyn still hasn't recovered 9 years since. Nets won 2 playoff series. Boston made 4 conference finals, 1 finals appearance and counting. The Nets now an afterthought, stuck with Ben Simmons' ugly contract. Ouch. Brandon Jennings to the Pistons for Brandon Knight, a random player, and a guy by the name of Chris Middleton who just finished his rookie season as a throw-in. After the infamous Bucks in 6 campaign, the 23-year-old never truly became a star. All of a sudden a role player, Detroit desperate trying to pair another player with newly acquired Josh Smith. Nobody thought Middleton would end up being a true second option for a contender and a future multiple-time All-Star. His first season with Milwaukee, also Giannis' first season, both rolled the bench together, endured tough times. While Jennings supposed to take his game to the next level, ruptured Achilles 2015, never the same since, bounced around back to the Bucks 2018, while Milwaukee getting rid of Jennings and no more Monte Ellis, a brutal 15-67 record, ended up drafting Jabari Parker number 2, their original savior. Mitty all of a sudden improved every year, became a reliable closer down the stretch, complements Giannis perfectly, clutched throughout the 2021 title run, looking to win more titles 2023 and counting, also a potential Hall of Famer. Nobody expected the former second rounder to make this type of impact. 10 years later, Detroit won 0 playoff games since. 2021, Magic All-Star Nikola Vucevic alongside washed up Al-Farouq Aminu traded to the Bulls for Otto Porter, Wendell Carter Jr., and 2 future firsts. The Magic franchise knew they had to break up the Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, and Woosh era, rebuilding through the draft, Orlando's only option, while the Bulls pairing a deadly offensive big with All-Star Zach LaVine seemed to be contenders. But flash forward 2 years since the trade, the lottery pick Chicago gave up became Franz Wagner, arguably better than Vucevic right now and going forward. Woosh super hard to evaluate in the first place, put up high numbers on a bad team, not good on defense, even having DeRozan, the team likely already peaked, made the postseason 2022 only to get destroyed by Giannis. Chicago stuck in no man's land, rushed to improve only to backfire, their stars unhappy, while Orlando, one of the most exciting young teams, a way better position than the Bulls going forward. Thanks so much for watching this video. Which one of these trades consider one-sided? Were you shocked they became one-sided the other way? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.